So we're at IEM Sydney with chrisJ from mousesports. You've been with mousesports for a really long time.
Yeah.
What's it like, I guess, seeing the evolution from when you first joined to now, even before this most recent roster switch around?
Yeah.
Just how much Mouse has evolved.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty cool to see. I mean, obviously, when I joined, the whole CS scene was at a lower level. Mousesports was definitely not at its peak. I mean, in 1.6, it was like I would say a legendary team. I mean, I definitely looked up to them back then. They achieved like so much. I mean, I joined Mouse. We obviously had high hopes, but things just didn't go so well for like a really long time. And then eventually actually becoming a pretty good team and winning tournaments sometimes. That was awesome to be part of it.
So in this most recent iteration, or the jump between the iterations, was that something that I guess the organisation or the team wanted to do, or was it something that through circumstances they were forced to?
Yeah, what do you mean, removing Oscar and Sonny?
Yeah, just
The
the
team?
switch ups in
Stico?
general, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the previous team it was just past its date, you know. We achieved a lot, and at the beginning of the lineup, everybody was super hungry to really want to win and want to work and stuff. And at some point, sometimes in a group of guys, things start to bother people, and things just are not the same anymore after certain things happen. We had some big success, we had some losses, and this just changed the team. You know, the team was not the same as the team that was winning tournaments before. So we could never go back to the same situation with those 5 guys or with those 6 with the coach. So it was not that people hated each other or that anyone has bad blood, but it just wasn't gonna work anymore, and everybody knew it. So something just had to change, and yeah, it happened.
Yeah. So with the new players you picked up,
Yeah.
how much, I guess, pull or in the decision did you have in terms of picking these players?
Me personally,
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, I was first not even supposed to be in the team anymore as well, so I had obviously absolutely nothing to do with it.
Okay. So it got assembled, and they were like, "Come on, come back." And
I mean, I guess
play.
Kerrigan had some. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Fair enough. Obviously, as well, throughout your tenure with mousesports, as we just said, you've gone to inactive before, and you've jumped back into the roster a couple times.
Yeah.
What's the emotion like? Going to the inactive side and then being asked to come straight back in.
I mean, the thing is, in one way, it kind of sucks because it feels like, okay, the team or whoever decided it doesn't think you're good enough. But then again, it's just a job for me. Even though maybe it's more as a job, but I try to see it as a job in situations like that. If I need to play again, I'm gonna play again, and I'm not gonna complain about anything. I'm glad I get another chance to play and prove myself, and I feel like it was a good lineup as well that was made now. So it made sense for me to like be completely motivated again and want to win for the team.
So at IEM Sydney, you guys made it through to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that means you got this lovely crowd that you can hear behind us through the walls.
Yeah.
Do you like playing in front of a really loud crowd like that?
Yeah. I really like playing against the crowd, and I also love it when the crowd is against our team, because I don't know, it adds something special when you hear them shouting the whole time, and you can feel that they want you to lose, and if you can then win anyway, it just adds something special. But even if the crowd are like not really excited for any team, as long as they're loud, it just adds so much energy to the match and makes the rounds way more fun to play. When you just, I don't know, it feels like your kills and your actions in the game have like more impact when you hear everybody react to it directly, So yeah, I really love it.
So you talk about loving being the villain, so you must love Australia then, because it seems like mousesports, completely different lineups, but still versus Renegades.
Yeah.
You just love to take out the hometown heroes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only in Australia. With the whole team, we had it like quite a lot, like in America or in Kiev, in Ukraine. The thing is, we're an international lineup back then. We're that right now again, so we never really have a home crowd. So in most places, we're gonna be like the bad guys in that sense. But yeah, we made that our advantage at some point.
Do you find, because everybody's coming from different backgrounds, different countries, nationalities, do you find it's hard to get everybody to mesh together, or is it just the right combination?
Yeah, sometimes, but I don't think it's necessarily much harder. I think it's hard anyway, because if you're gonna have 5 or 6 guys living together on the road for like weeks and sometimes months, things are gonna get difficult sometimes anyway. Even if you're coming from the same country, it's not like everybody in the Netherlands is friends with each other, right? So that's just how it is. You need to make it work with others. You need to be professional. Sometimes you're better friends with this guy than with another, and that's just how it is. But yeah, sometimes when people are from different countries, there can be some things that people are used to that is really weird for the other, even though one guy doesn't mean disrespect by doing this in the other country, it can mean that you're doing something bad, right? So it can add some more difficulties. It certainly doesn't make it easier, but I wouldn't say much more difficult.
So you talk about being on the road all the time. Do you get much downtime between tournaments? Because it feels like there's a tournament every weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing we also felt at the end with the last lineup, that we played too much tournaments at some point and we didn't have time to practice, and that's why results started to get worse. Frustration started to build up more quickly because we were just not showing our best level, and that's something we try to avoid now. But the thing is also, we're not really in the position now to decide to skip tournaments, because we're just not like a top 5 team like we were last year, with the lineup. So we need to take every chance, every tournament we can get now to show our best. But yeah, you need to watch out for that. I feel like it can get really tiring real quick, especially when you're going to America, then to Europe, then now Australia. The jet lag and the time zones are, it's hard on your brain.
And obviously as well, since you've been in mousesports, then CSGO as a whole has changed as well a lot. Do you have a particular change that Valve's made over that period that you're like, this has really changed the way that people play Counter-Strike? It's a hard question off the top of your head.
I'm not sure. There have been some pretty big changes. I mean, CS was such a different game in 2013, or CSGO was such a different game in 2013. It was way more running around and spraying and stuff. I don't know. I feel like overall, all the changes they made over the year have accumulated to just a better version of CS. And yeah, it's actually the best team usually wins now in the game we play right now. And I think obviously a team like Astralis definitely proves that if you're just a better team, you're gonna win most of the time, and I think that's good.
Yeah. One of the latest changes that Valve made was bringing Vertigo into the competitive pool.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to play it?
Yeah, I've played it. I played it before as well, sometimes with matchmaking. And obviously now that we're done with Sydney, we're gonna play it a lot more than before, because we were playing Cashier still, so we had to be ready on that map as well. But I don't know, the map doesn't seem that good. It seems pretty simple. There doesn't seem to be so many options. It just seems to be really fast-paced. So it's different than your normal, but I don't think it's good to have the map in there for the long term. But we will see how it develops.
Yeah. Do you think a decision like that, where they're changing up the competitive pool, should have maybe been shopped around to the pro teams beforehand and been like, hey guys?
I think it would make sense, yeah. But Valve is always gonna do it in some way what they want, and yeah, maybe I don't know. It would be good to at least have talk with the teams about it, because I don't think it's bad to change the map, but maybe together with the teams a better decision on the map could be made. Who knows?
Okay. And in terms of communication from Valve, recently they announced the major dates for 2020 and 2021. Have you had a chance to look at those?
Yeah. I mean, they actually did the dates that we asked for with the Players Union, so Valve listened to the players in that sense, so that's really nice of them. And I mean, I think almost all the teams are happy with how the major dates are now, in a sense that you can have a player break at like kind of a normal vacation time, and yeah.
So how important are those player breaks, between tournaments?
I mean, honestly, if you wouldn't have a break, everybody would be so burnt out. But even when you take the break, you still need, when you're like one of the top teams that can go to every tournament, you need to skip some tournaments, because if you go to 4 different tournaments in 1 month, it's just too much. You cannot be at best level at 4 different weekends. You need some time to rest. You need some time to practice. Obviously, when you play a lot of matches, everybody's gonna see what you're doing. So you need to take some time to come up with new stuff, because else you're just gonna be way too easy to read. So obviously in the player break you're not really gonna do that. You're obviously just taking time off from the game. But yeah, it's important to rest. It's important to find new things.
Final question. We keep talking about these teams who are in the top 10 or whatever and can afford to skip tournaments. How much longer until you think this new mouse lineup is up in that category again?
I don't know. I mean, I would say things are going a bit quicker in the right direction than we expected. Instantly qualifying to Pro League finals was really good, and the region playoffs in Sydney was also pretty good. Obviously, now that we had a close match against MMBR, we hope to have went further, but it is what it is. But I feel like our main goal is to just be good when the majors take place, and to at least qualify to the major again. So we're definitely giving ourselves time in that sense. I'm not sure from the top of my mind when the major is now, but in a couple of months we hope to be at our peak. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
No problem.